Okay, you know the rules by now. Robots paint, you guess. I give some clues along the way. We will start off a little bit easy. Now remember, we're doing famous historical painting masterpieces. So we're probably looking for names of paintings, maybe the artist, and then we can work on the dates. This first one's easy. The figures are seated along a long table. The central figure is calm, while those around him react with shock. Very good, very good. I knew you'd get the first one. The setting is a simple dining hall. Now, we're giving you a little more time on these too, because again, they're a little harder when we're trying to depict a historical painting versus, say, a historical character. The scene captures the moment after a shocking revelation. The paintings depict Jesus' final meal with his disciples. Okay, Rubens has not only the painting, The Last Supper, but he also has the artist, Leonardo da Vinci. Very good. Now, I told you the first one would be kind of easy. So there you go. So give me, okay, now if you know it's Leonardo da Vinci, you should be able to get close to the date. Who knows the date of when this painting was created? And this painting is, I think, isn't it like a fresco or something? Isn't it like on a church? It's not actually a painting on a piece of paper or a canvas. I think it's a fresco or something. But anyway, does anybody remember the date, perhaps? Well, it's 1495 to 1498. It took 3 years. And the painting's deteriorating condition is due to Leonardo's experimenting with new fresco techniques that ended up not holding up over time. Who knew? All right. Little harder, maybe. Still pretty easy. Here we go. The setting is a grand hall with arches and columns. Many figures are engaged in deep conversation. This is a very famous painting of the Renaissance. Two central figures walk together. One points upward, the other gestures outward. Philosophers from different time periods are all gathered in this one place. Anybody remember what this is called? It has a unique name. The painting represents classical knowledge and features Aristotle and Plato. Anybody know the name of this painting or the artist? Or the year, of course. You're gonna kick yourself when I tell you. Baby. All right. The name of the painting is the School of Athens. Does that sound familiar at all? School of Athens. It was painted in 1509 to 1511. Any guesses at the artist? Famous, probably, well, I don't know if it's the most famous, but it was Raphael. Raphael included a self-portrait in the painting. He's the figure on the far right. Whoops, I should have told you that before. All right, next up. Now, you're going to recognize this. Let's see if you can get the details. The scene takes place in the sky. Curious. The central figure reclines on the ground, reaching outward. Now, this is this picture I've given you is the blow up of right in the middle, right? Another figure extends a hand, but their fingers do not touch. And there is a group of figures surrounding the second character that's out of the scene. But I did the blow up because this is the key part. The painting represents the biblical moment when God gives life to the first man. Does anybody remember the name of this, perhaps? This is called The Creation of Adam. The Creation of Adam, 1512. And it is by a very famous painter and architect and sculptor. Any guesses? It is Michelangelo. Some scholars believe the shape around God resembles a human brain, suggesting a hidden message about intelligence. Curious. All right, they only get harder from here. My apologies. The scene is crowded with armored knights. Lances and swords create diagonal lines throughout the composition. I can start to see those. The perspective is styled rather than realistic. The painting celebrates a military victory for Florence. Anybody have any clue? This is 1435. 1435. So still way back there. It was commissioned to glorify the Medici family, and their power. Anybody have any idea? This is known as the Battle of San Romano. The Battle of San Romano. Doesn't ring a bell, does it? The artist was Paolo Uccello. Paolo Uccello. French to me. Battle of San Romano. The painting originally had 3 panels, but they were separated and now in different museums. Crazy. Okay. They only get harder. My apologies. All right, first up. What's going on there? I can't see anything. The scene takes place on a battlefield. A group of men gather around a fallen leader. The setting is North America during a European conflict. The central figure dies dramatically in a pose similar to religious paintings. I guess these are supposed to be famous paintings, you know. I don't know if I know this. The painting depicts a key moment in the 7 Years' War. Any guesses? Oh, these are getting harder. This is known as the death of General Wolfe, of course. The artist was Benjamin West. Never heard of him. Sorry, Ben. This was one of the first major history paintings to show figures in contemporary clothing instead of ancient style robes. That's kind of interesting. First one to show modern clothing. Wonder why that was. Hard to say, right? Yeah, I think I do too. But I do have the answers in front of me, so I'm good. I'm good to go. Anyway, death of General Wolfe. Now you know something. We're going to learn something tonight. We're definitely going to learn something. All right, next up, we're up to number 6. We're happy about that. Now, this is a fairly famous painting. I have heard of this painting. A shipwrecked crew struggles to survive on a floating structure. That's a big clue. Some figures lie lifeless, while others wave frantically for rescue. Help us. A dark, stormy sea adds to the feeling of despair. The painting is based on a real maritime disaster. It actually is a critique and criticizes the incompetence of the French government. Who knew? This look familiar at all? This is fun. This is one of the famous. Yeah, the wreck of Hesperius. No, that's actually, I don't know if that's correct or not. The painting is called The Raft of Medusa. Now that sounds familiar, right? Raft of Medusa. It was Theodore Guernica, French. Theodore Guernica. And it was 1818. So there you go. Guernica interviewed survivors and even studied corpses to achieve accuracy in his depiction of the suffering. Okay. I don't know. It's a famous painting. The Raft of Medusa. There you go. We're learning a lot tonight. We are learning a lot. Next up, you may know this one. You may not. The central figure holds a weapon in one hand and something else in the other. Smoke and rubble fill the background, symbolizing unrest. Oh, there is a bare breast in this one too, incidentally. So we have that going for us. The central figure wears a Phrygian cap. I don't know what that is. Phrygian cap. A symbol of revolution. Oh, it's a symbol of revolution. People from different social classes fight together. The painting represents the July Revolution in France. Well, so you were close. It's not the Bolshevik Revolution. It's the French Revolution. Oh, but what's the name of the painting? I don't know. It's called Liberty Leading the People. Liberty Leading the People. Never heard of it, but there you go. And the artist is Eugene Delacroix. Eugene Delacroix. 1830. 1830. This painting was considered too radical and was hidden from the public for years. I can see why. Too radical. Oh, yes, Lady Liberty. There she is. In her full glory. It's the best thing we've ever had on Quick Bite History Live. That's a good one. Well, we're happy about that one anyway. All right, next up. Now, we may know this one. We certainly know the scene. The setting is cold and filled with chunks of ice. Hello. The figures are packed into a small wooden boat. I can't see it yet. I can't see it. A flag bearer stands tall despite the rough waters. The central figure gazes forward with determination. This is starting to look familiar. The painting shows a pivotal moment in the American Revolution. Who knows this one? Or what's it depict? Because that's the name of the painting. It's a very descriptive title. Yeah, it's a very descriptive title. Anybody know? The painting is not historically accurate because Washington probably crossed in the dead of night in a different kind of boat. Well, Washington Crossing the Delaware is the name of the painting, and the artist is Emmanuel Lutz. Emmanuel Lutz. Washington Crossing the Delaware. There it is. There it is. A famous painting. We should have known that one. And the painting is not historically accurate. There you go. We could at least have accurate paintings on our live show. All right, now I have heard of this painting too. Let's see if you have or not. The setting is dark with a strong contrast of light and shadow. A line of faceless soldiers aims rifles at unarmed civilians. Not a good start, doesn't sound? A man in a white shirt raises his arms in surrender. Look, he's given up. The victims' faces show raw fear and agony. The painting depicts Napoleon's forces executing Spanish civilians after an uprising. This is a very famous painting. It's one of the most famous war paintings, so it fits into our historical painting category. So we're going to learn something more here tonight. This painting is called The 3rd of May, 1808. It's actually all that in the title. The 3rd of May, 1808 is the title. Now, the weird thing is it was painted in 1814. I guess that's not weird. And this is an artist that you'll know the name, Francisco Goya. Goya, does that sound familiar? Goya? Maybe. Goya might be familiar. The painting's emotional intensity influenced many later depictions of war, including Picasso. Yeah, I know. These are hard. This is an educational endeavor tonight. I'm creating an educational film tonight. And you guys are helping me create the educational film. All right, next up, we're doing famous historical paintings or paintings about history. We're up to number 10. This is by an artist that you know. You'll start to recognize some of the shapes, I think. This painting is in black and white and gray tones. Well, that's boring. A bull and a wounded horse are among the central figures. A woman holds a candle illuminating a scene of chaos. The fragmented style makes the emotions even more intense. Ah, there you go. You've got the artist. Do you remember the name of this painting? I think a lot of people would say this is his most famous painting. The painting is a protest against the bombing of a Spanish town during the Civil War. It's really big. It's a big old painting. I don't know if it's on a wall or if it's on a canvas. I'm not sure, but it's huge. It's called Guernica. Guernica. I guess in Spanish. Guernica. Pablo Picasso, 1937. Picasso refused to let Guernica be displayed in Spain while the dictator Francisco Franco was still in power. It remained in New York until 1981. Well, it must have been on a canvas then. If I wasn't on a wall, it remained in New York. Somehow they moved it. I don't know how. Don't know how they did it. All right, let's see. This is a famous event in history, like all. The grand setting is inside the Notre Dame Cathedral. I can't really tell. They're paintings. It's speed painting. You're supposed to guess. The main figure stands holding a golden crown. A pope is present, but not in control of the ceremony. I don't think we get to see that. I'm not sure. The central figure crowns himself instead of waiting for tradition. So that's a key clue. The central figure crowns himself instead of waiting for the Pope to put the crown on. The painting captures the self-coronation of a famous French ruler. So this is the coronation of... Yeah, there you go. You got it. You got this one. Excellent. The coronation of Napoleon. 1805. It was Jacques Louis David. And fun fact, Napoleon originally wanted the Pope to place the crown on his head. But at the last moment, he took it out of his hand and did it himself to assert his authority over the church. There you go. Sounds like something Trump might do. Exactly. Assert authority over the deep state. There we go. Number 12. Looks like a lot of duck to me. And some fire now. No. A mythological event is hidden within an ordinary countryside scene. A plowman, shepherd go about their day unaware. The sea in the distance contains an unusual splat. It's hard to see that. It's really hard to see. A pair of legs disappears into the water. painting depicts the legendary fall of a boy who flew too close to the sun. Well, there's a good clue. What's that? The painting depicts the legendary fall of a boy who flew too close to the sun. Hard to see it though. Yeah, it's about Icarus for sure. And I don't know why this one's so famous, but it's called The Landscape with the Fall of Icarus, and it was painted in 1560. Holy smokes! Peter Bruegel the Elder. Pieter Bruegel the Elder. There you go. This painting shifts focus away from the heroic myth, emphasizing the indifference of daily life. Now that's weird. This sounds conceptual. I've never heard of it before, but it made our list tonight. Learn something every day on Quick Fight History Live. There you go. Now I have another painting by Jacques-Louis David. He got 2 in our list tonight. Anyway, this one's got 3 men standing in a rigid formation, arms outstretched. They swear loyalty to their father and their city. Women weep in the background. Ooh, foreshadowing a tragedy. The scene represents a Roman legend about duty and sacrifice. These are hard. You need to be an art history major. That's a good guess. That's not correct, but that's a good guess. It became an iconic image of neoclassicism and political propaganda. So this is called the Oath of Horati. The Oath of Horati. Now, I don't know much about this story. We're going to have to look this one up. 1784, Jacques-Louis David. And this painting was used to promote loyalty to the French Revolution. I don't get it. Let's look this one up. Oath of Horati. We're going to get some background on this one. Must be something important. All right. There it is. Learn another thing on Quick Bite History Live. Anyway, on to number 14. Now, this one is a very famous painting, and I have heard of this one before. I'm not sure I could pick it out of a lineup. The painting features dramatic contrasts of light and dark. The executioner's sword is mid-strength in the painting. Ooh, a pool of blood forms on the ground. I think that's a robe, isn't it? It's not a pool of blood, is it? Maybe we're seeing something different. These robots. The scene is intense, yet eerily calm. The artist that captured all of that. The signature of the artist is written in the blood. Well, that's weird. That's downright weird. This is a pretty famous piece. And it's called The Beheading of St. John the Baptist. Beheading of St. John the Baptist. It was painted in 1608. by somebody named Caravaggio. 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 This is the only painting Caravaggio ever signed. He was ashamed of his work. How about that? Well, kind of a gruesome subject. Beheading of St. John the Baptist. John the Baptist, wow. Caravaggio. Caravaggio. Yes. It's a fun name to say if I'm saying it anywhere close to correctly. On to number 15. So, the main figure gazes upward in a spiritual trance. Okay. Now, the artist you're going to know, the famous artist. The colors are bold, elongated, and expressive. And this style is consistent with this artist for sure. The background is vague and undefined, focusing attention on the central figure. Yes, I would say that's true, particularly in our robot painting. They're all a little absent. The painting captures an emotional moment from the Passion of Christ. The figure's long face and luminous skin are hallmarks of this artist's style. Any guesses on the artist, perhaps? All the way back in 1580. I didn't realize this guy was that far back. This one's called Christ Carrying the Cross, which, yeah, kind of looks like that. Okay. But who's the artist? The style's pretty right on. This is El Greco. What's up, man? El Greco. El Greco's unique style was once considered too radical, but later he was celebrated as a visionary. Donatello. That's one of the Ninja Turtles, isn't it? Donatello. This is El Greco, which is not a Ninja Turtle. Although that would have been a cool name for a Ninja Turtle. Number 16. Now again, we do have a famous painting. Whether we'll remember this famous painting or not is hard to say. This painting is much darker than its original appearance due to a varnish that was put on. Uh-oh, somebody put a varnish on and it made it darker. That happens. Too many layers of stain. Gets too dark. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Leonardo. A mysterious young girl in the background adds intrigue. The central figures are dressed in black and gold, leading the group. It portrays a group of men preparing for action. Yes, looks like action. The painting depicts a Dutch militia company, not an actual night scene, which is the clue. Anyways, yeah, it's like the Three Musketeers time, right? Definitely. And this is Dutch. So we might be able to get the artist. Dutch. It is a famous painting. It's called Night Watch. 1642. By Mr. Rembrandt. The painting was trimmed on all sides in the 18th century to fit its display space. losing part of its composition. They varnished it, they cut it up, they did all kinds of things to that darn painting. Anyway, moving on. Number 17. Another Dutch character. This painting captures a wealthy couple inside a domestic setting. That sounds boring. The room is filled with, how's that history? A wealthy couple inside a domestic setting. That doesn't sound like history. The room is filled with detailed objects from oranges to a chandelier. That sounds like a still life. A small dog sits in the couple's feet. Oh, we can't see that. That's cut off in ours. If we had the dog, we'd be able to get it. We just had the dog. A convex mirror in the background reflects unseen figures. Well, that sounds interesting. That's hard to see too. Robots don't make that easy. Many believe it is a wedding portrait, but its true purpose is still debated. Somehow this is a famous painting, though. I don't know. It's called the Arnolfini. The Arnolfini portrait. Well, so it must have been just he was hired to do a portrait of the family, right? Why is it in our history chunk? I don't know. This artist's name was Jan van Eyck. Jan van Eyck. Jan van Eyck. Jan van Eyck. The artist's signature is written above the mirror, reading Jan van Eyck was here. 1434. That's funny. That's kind of funny. Well, I don't know how that made our list, but it did. I guess it's a famous one. We're all going to have to go back to do our art history classes. Maybe we'll do some more of these. Next up is number 18. We're almost done. This painting was created in a harbor city in France. Wow. Kind of abstract. It features hazy light, yes it does, loose brush strokes, very loose, and vibrant colors. No, they're kind of pastel. A small boat and its reflection are focal points in the composition. It's a famous painting by a famous artist. Think Impressionist artist. Who's on the list? Just throwing out. Critics mocked the style, calling it unfinished, leading to a new artistic movement's name. The work is considered the first true Impressionist painting. Well, that explains why it's on our show tonight. Impressionists. So the name of the painting is Impression Sunrise. There you go. 1872. By who's the most famous Impressionist or first Impressionist? Mr. Claude Monet. The term Impressionism was coined from his painting title. That's where it came from, the name of this piece, Impression Sunset. There you go. Originally, it meant as an insult by the critics. Impressionism. Okay. All right. Number 19. With a bullet. I like the pattern. We got a little pattern going there. And fire. I like all the effect. This painting captures a farewell moment for a once great vessel. The scene is bathed in golden glow of sunset. The subject is being towed by a small wooden or I'm sorry, by a small modern steam-powered tugboat. Well, I can't see that. Can you see that? Can you see that? I can't see that. It symbolizes the transition from an older heroic era to industrial modernity. Well, now, okay. So if we could see this a little better, I get what they're getting at there. The transition from older heroic era to an industrial mind. Symbolic. It's symbolic, like paintings are supposed to be, right? The ship depicted played a key role in the Battle of Trafalgar. Battle of Trafalgar. This is called the Fighting Temeraire. Temeraire. The Fighting Temeraire. Got me. Why is it so famous? 1839. J.M.W. Turner is the artist. J.M.W. Turner. The real HMS Temeraire was broken up for scrap in 1838, but Turner chose to romanticize its final journey. Okay, well, I guess they're saying that's a famous painting. I guess it is. It's a cool sunset. Nice sunset. Number 20. Number 20. You know what? Making his third appearance tonight. The robots like this guy. Jacques-Louis David. Jacques-Louis David has another painting for us. This painting was commissioned by a European ruler to promote his heroic image. So this was actually commissioned by the dude in the picture. The subject is depicting riding a rearing horse, even though the real event was far less dramatic. No kidding. Wind and motion dominate the composition, really, emphasizing energy and power. That's hard for us to see. I see it on like sparks. Did they mention sparks? Yeah, this is, yeah. Here we go. This is about Napoleon, definitely. The names Bonaparte, Hannibal, and Charlemagne are inscribed on the rocks. Those are kind of cut off in our picture, I think. The painting captures a famous military leader leading troops through a mountain path. Well, so there's the clue. Oh, well, no, it's not the Battle of Waterloo. This is another place. And this was commissioned by Napoleon himself. He got old Jacques-Louis David to paint this for him. And it's called Napoleon Crossing the Alps. Napoleon Crossing the Alps. Oh, yeah. Crossing the Alps. Very exciting. This is a famous painting, right? I mean, you've seen it before. You've seen the painting. Yes? No? Maybe? Napoleon never actually crossed the Alps. Oh, he did cross the Alps, but he was riding a mule. All right, Roberts. Well, thank you for playing tonight. I appreciate it. That gives me a nice recording for this video, and I appreciate that. I don't think we get to do any bonus rounds or anything tonight. We don't have much of a crowd, which certainly makes sense.